So question number 3 is still about the consumer surplus, revenue, and price discrimination. The graph in the video is telling us the demand curve, right? You should remember it. So the first question is asked us, if the cruise cost is $500, how many passengers will be there? So in order to answer this question, we want to see if the market price is $500, how many people will above that $500 horizontal line. So first, let us find $500. So here is our $500. So then we draw a horizontal line. Now we just count how many people above this horizontal line, which means they will have consumer surplus, then they can afford to buy the cruiser. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 people can afford it to buy the cruise if the market price is $500. So the first question will be 7. Then it asks what is total revenue. So the total revenue equal to the price times the quantity. So we know that is equal to the price is $500 times 7, which has 7 people. So that equal to $3,500. So that is the question for total revenue. Last one, what is the total value for consumer surplus? So again, now we are asked to calculate the market consumer surplus. What we can do is we try to calculate each individual's consumer surplus and add all of them together. So now let's go back to look at the graph, and let me write down the consumer surplus next to each consumer. So the first consumer, he want to pay $2,000. So his consumer surplus equal to $2,000 minus $500. So his consumer surplus is $1,500. And the second consumer is willing to pay $1,800. So that's $1,800 minus $500, which is the market price, and you will get $1,300. And the third and fourth people, both of them are willingness to pay $1,500 minus $500. So both of them get $1,000 as consumer surplus. So here we have the two $1,000. And the fifth person, and he is willing to pay the $1,300 minus $500. So his consumer surplus is $800. And the next consumer, his willingness to pay $1,100 minus $500, you will get $600. So now it's our last consumer. So his willingness to pay $700 minus $500, he will get $200 as consumer surplus. Now, in order to know the market consumer surplus, what we need to do is just add all those numbers together, and we will get our consumer surplus. Now we can move those numbers close to our question. So to answer this question, and what we will write down is $1,500 plus the second consumer is $1,300 plus 2 times $1,000 because we have 2 persons, and plus $800 plus $600 plus $200. Now you can use calculator to calculate the final answer. So you will have 1500 plus 1300 plus 2000 plus 800 plus 600 plus 200. Then you got the consumer surplus in this market under the market price 500 is $6,400. So this $6,400 will be the answer for this question, total value of the consumer surplus. Now the question number B, it asks if the cruise ship could perfectly price discrimination for all 8 passengers, how much more revenue could it take in compared to when there is a uniform price of the of $500. So when we charge the consumer $500, we have the 7 consumers, and we have the total revenue equal to total revenue equal to $3,500. So so the question is, do we really need to calculate the final answer? So yes, we definitely need to calculate, but do we need to calculate one by one? So the answer is no. So you need to have a clear idea about what is price discrimination. So the perfect price discrimination means the producer or business will not only earn their original profit, total revenue, but also they will they will get the consumer surplus as their total revenue. So what you can do here is the revenue equal to the total revenue you calculate the revenue you calculate in question A plus the consumer surplus in question A. So you will get 3,500 plus 6,400, and you will get 9,900. So this will be the answer for this question. You don't need to calculate individual. You don't need to calculate one by one and add them together. What you can do is you just add the results of the total revenue you calculated from question A together, and you will get the total revenue under the scenario under the perfectly per price discrimination.